The appeal process is not expected to be easy, and by the time it's all over, Tom Brady may not have been punished so badly after all.
Joining us tonight to talk about what might be next for Brady is attorney and San Diego State lecturer on business ethics, Dr. Wendy Patrick. Dr. Patrick, thanks for being with us. Based on the evidence and what you've heard, what are the chances that this ruling will be overturned if his agent goes ahead and appeals?
Well, he is going to appeal, and that's the one thing we know for sure. So is it going to be any different? Partially, people believe it'll depend on whether or not Roger Goodell hears it himself or brings somebody in that's independent. But it's also going to depend on two things. First of all, he's not charged with ordering that the footballs be deflated. You know, this standard is so low. Was he more probable than not aware generally of inappropriate activities? Most people say, what does that even mean? So that report, even if you were to say that's inconclusive, you can't deny the fact that he didn't cooperate fully. So interestingly, part of the punishment, according to the NFL, is not based on something he did, but based on something he didn't do, which is cooperate. So the chances of this being reduced, many people are predicting, oh, it's only going to be 2 games, it's only going to be 1 game, are going to depend on whether or not those findings were upheld. And whether or not they're upheld depends on whether they're going to really adopt the conclusions of the report or say there's just not enough evidence. You say where there's smoke, there's fire, but is there really even smoke that connects Tom Brady to what the locker room attendant did?
You know, I know everyone's focused on Tom Brady. I'm kind of interested in the 2 attendants who actually deflated the footballs.
Yes.
They have been suspended indefinitely. What do you expect will happen there? Because they obviously have all of the information and they can spill the beans at any time.
That's true. If they lawyer up, they probably won't be talking anytime soon. It's also not helpful. One of them goes by the nickname, the Deflater. Okay, that's what we call circumstantial evidence under the law. But what's going to happen to them is probably going to be tied in with the whole, you know, what happens to Brady, what happens to the team, because I don't think anybody's going to be talking until there's going to be an end to this. And that also is part of what the agent said. They said, you know, one of the reasons that they didn't want to turn over the cell phones is his agent said, we don't want to set precedent by saying, even though we're not under any legal compulsion, in other words, this isn't a criminal proceeding, so there's no subpoena power, they didn't want to just voluntarily provide this information because it might be, you know, might be a precedent setter for other cases in other leagues, other teams. So that might also apply to what happens to the locker room attendants. I don't think anyone is going to be voluntarily providing any more that they have to, at least at this point in the proceedings.
Let me toss this in. I read that, whether this is true or not, I don't know. I read that Brady actually sent text messages to 2 of the equipment assistants and complained about the air pressure in the footballs, and that he offered gifts to the 2 assistants to reduce the pressure. Now, if that's the case, it would sound like the NFL has a pretty strong case if they can produce those text messages.
Well, one of the things his agents also said, because people are talking about not only those text messages, but obviously the ones between the 2 attendants, is you need to prove that he wanted them deflated below the standard. In other words, not just deflated from the upper end to the legal lower end, but below the standard. And that's what has a lot of people rallying around him in support today, is that's the piece that's missing. So if this were in a criminal court, this would not be able to be proof beyond a reasonable doubt, no way. But because it's the standard is so low, they're saying, why would those attendants have done it on their own? Why would they have come up with that if they weren't getting some benefit from Tom Brady?
Exactly.
I think it's interesting that not too many quarterbacks have come out and weighed in on this issue. You have to wonder if this is a dirty little secret among teams in the NFL, and Brady was just called out on it.
I think people are afraid for a variety of reasons, that being one of them. Nobody's really going to say much one way or another until we see how the appeal goes.
All right, Dr. Patrick, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.